Whoa, Doc, this is heavy. No, literally, I mean it's heavy. In this video, we are doing a quick review of the USS Xhosa from Eaglemoss, number 121, Star Trek, the official Starships collection. A crew of only 12. And we'll talk about the Xhosa. This ship was reused like some of the other ships. And an article, John Eves, on Arming the Deep Space Nine. There's the specifications. Antares class freighter, 23rd and 24th century, crew of 12. Nice graphic. No nacelles, I notice. The Xhosa had a utilitarian appearance with a boxy middle section that helped to maximize its load carrying capacity. It may have not been the most elegant of ships, but for its purpose, it proved to be that it was still in operation more than a century after it had been first built. It was commanded by Captain Cassidy Yates, who was Deep Space Nine's Benjamin Sisko's girlfriend. The Xhosa was named for a Bantu South African group. The Xhosa language uses a system of click sounds that are not present in most other languages. That reminds me of that movie, The Gods Must Be Crazy. If you haven't seen that, it's a delightful old movie. I really enjoyed it. It's basically about a pop bottle falls out of a plane and it lands into a indigenous tribe, and it's a very, very good movie. Makes you think. The bridge of the Xhosa was rectangular in shape, with a view screen on the front. It was built resembling those used aboard Starfleet ships in the mid-23rd century. That is what I call continuity and, putting some thought into your designs. And there's the Xhosa docked with Deep Space Nine. It says it's capable of warp, but I don't see any nacelles. And, let's see, there it is in the Badlands. Cassidy Yates was a highly capable freighter captain who had been commanding the Xhosa for some time when she met Benjamin Sisko. They bonded over a shared love of baseball, and romance soon blossomed. Their relationship was tested when Yates was sent to prison for helping the Maquis. But after she got out, they took up where they had left off. They married in 2375, and she was expecting a baby by him when Sisko sacrificed himself to stop a Paul Wraith-possessed Ducat. That sure looks like a freighter. When you think of freighter, this is what I think of. And there's the Defiance view screen. They followed, and they caught her supplying medical supplies to the Maquis. And there's been many reuses of the USS Xhosa studio model. The first one was the Battrice in the Next Generation Heart of Glory, which was actually designed and built by Greg Jean, but it wasn't for Star Trek. It was for the V miniseries. Remember that? It was actually a pretty good miniseries. And then they repurposed the model for the Battrice. And then there was the Sanction in the Next Generation episode Symbiosis. And then the erstwhile and the outrageous Okana. The outrageous Okana, he reminded me of the Next Generation's version of Han Solo. And then the Sublight Freighter used in the Next Generation episode Final Mission. And then Norkova used in the Next Generation episode Unification. I believe that was when Spock, the canon Spock, was trying to reunify the Romulans and the Vulcans. And then it was the Xhosa. And then it was a Kytrian freighter on the Voyager episode The Chute. Then, the great John Eaves. He designed several new weapons for the battle sequence in the final scenes of The Way of the Warrior, which saw Deep Space Nine engage the might of the Klingon fleet. Eaves specifically added a rotating phaser emitter to the defense sails. They're called defense sails. Fascinating. 2 kinds of phaser to the docking pylons, and pop-up weapon arrays to the habitat ring. Wouldn't mind having his autograph one of these days. I'll remember that. The only weapons that were part of the original design were on the defense sails, so Eaves converted an existing circular detail into an extending unit that popped out of the side. Yep, I remember that. Those are photon torpedoes, I do believe, coming out of there, headed toward the Klingon ship. Let's see. Here it says The Way of the Warrior. Just look at his drawings. It's beautiful. In the sequence that made it into the final or finished episode, Eve's weapons could be seen fire off in all directions, while explosions erupted around the station. In the wider shots, the source of the same torpedoes wasn't identified. That was pretty cool. I mean, the Deep Space Station 9 could defend herself when she needed to. It could also move, but not very fast. Eve said that the phaser emitters on the habitat ring had a bread pan look to them, and they went through the most changes. Originally, the much larger units that featured twin emitters, as can be seen in this illustration. Well, I think that's where the runabouts came up too, if I remember right. And the Xhosa was in Deep Space Nine episode The Way of the Warrior and Star Trek Voyager For the Cause. Okay, and then it says the next one is going to be the Jaeger. That looks like a Voyager mixed with a Maquis. We'll see when it gets here. Let's take a look at the ship. Now, I keep talking about this, but you know, Eaglemoss's paint jobs are hit or miss. This is hefty. I know a lot of die-cast pieces nowadays are really plastic and die-cast. Sure looks like a freighter, doesn't it? I mean, when I think of freighter, this is kind of what I have in mind. Not much detail on the bottom. The detail of the paint job looks pretty good, though. There's a gap right there, of course, you can see it. Deep space antenna there, I do believe. Check out the paint job. It's airbrushed red. It looks pretty good, actually, though. This almost could be a ship off the ragtag fleet in Battlestar Galactica, too. It reminds me of that. But I'd say the paint job's pretty good, wouldn't you? Like I said, it's heavy. It's one of the heavier ones. But, I mean, where are you going to get designs like this that you don't have to garage kit or I mean, 3D printers are coming up, but they're still expensive right now. But one of these days, 3D printers will be in every house. It definitely looks like a freighter. That color blends in with the moon. Now with this base, it fits snug inside there, so I didn't have to put a spot of hot glue in there to hold it, even as heavy as this is. So that makes me happy. I really don't have to go the extra step of putting hot glue in the base. Get some focus going on here. So there you go. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.